junkie, welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a little Chanel haul. This packaging is beautiful. Love this box, love everything Chanel does to make their makeup just feel really luxurious. I picked up a shade from one of the new Rouge Coco Flash Bloom lipsticks. Everything else is relatively new to the brand. Some stuff came out earlier in the year and late last year, and some are not new at all. But I wanted to add some more Chanel makeup to my collection, so we're going to be doing a full face. So what I'm trying out that is new to me today is the Beiges Water Fresh Tint. I have the lightest shade. This is a really light foundation, and it comes with a little applicator brush. I picked up an eyeshadow quad. This is the 374 Allure et Eclat. This is a beautiful 4-pan eyeshadow quad. Very wearable shades. And I picked up an eyeliner, which is not new. This is the Stylo Yeux waterproof long-lasting eyeliner in Brun Agape, very classic brown shade. I picked up a nail polish. This is not a new shade, I don't think. This is 504 Origandi, and I believe this is their regular Lavernus finish. I have it on my nails right now. I've actually filmed this video once before. I had some sound issues, so there's a few chips on my nails now. But this is the nail polish I picked up and what is on my nails. And then I picked up 3 lip products. This is not new. This is the Le Rouge Duo Ultra Tenue Gloss in Timeless Beige. Love this formula. So I picked up another color, and then I got 2 lipsticks. One is the Rouge Coco Flash. This is the regular formula in Live. And then their new formula, the Rouge Coco Flash Bloom, I picked up the shade 116 Dream, which is this color right here. So we're going to be trying out, swatching the lip shades, doing a full look. But that is everything I got in this haul. I did get a couple skincare samples in this little bag here. And I got 2 things from the Hydra Beauty line. This is the Micro Liquid Essence, which is really nice, and the Micro Cream, which is also really nice. I think I might put on a little something before we get started. But yes, let's go over packaging. So this is just a wraparound like ribbon glittery sleeve that just kind of slides up and down. And you get this wonderful Chanel box. And of course, the Beiges is in slightly different packaging. This is the water tint, and the foundation came in this larger sort of black and tan box. And then everything else kind of came in the classic black and gold packaging. So nothing new there. So let's get into the look. Tie my hair back and let's do a little skincare. So I've tried this Micro Essence a couple times. It has these little light blue little bubbles, and they just kind of you can barely see them when you're in your hand, and they break open when you rub them in. I do like, you know, what I've tried, the samples from Chanel, the skincare samples. Everything I've tried has been from this Hydra line. I just wish it wasn't so floral. I mean, it smells nice. It's just, you know, I think a lot of people are moving into non-fragrance, but I know a lot of us love fragrance. So, you know, I know we're a little bit torn on that stuff. Alright, so the water tint. So as I said, I filmed this video once before. I had sound issues, so I kind of know what this is like. which is good for you all because I realized there's different ways I thought about applying this, but I think the best way is really with the brush it comes with, because you have to break up these little micro spheres, and it doesn't work well if you just use your fingers. You really need to use a brush. So I will go ahead and just put this on the back of my hand. Do I want to use a primer? Sorry, primer first. We're going to make sure we have a smooth canvas, although I'm not sure it's super necessary with this. I'm just going to make sure I put on a sunscreen. Jeez, I'm forgetting everything today. I do want to go outside for a walk, so I want to make sure I'm well protected. So I just put on some skincare. Putting on my sunscreen. This is the Apu Power Block Aqua Sun Gel SPF 50+. This is what I've been using for a while. It's a really creamy, easily absorbed sunscreen. There's not really scent, and it is chemical. I think it works well under makeup. If you're gonna have a really heavy Sunday, I would probably definitely make sure I reapply, just because I'm not putting a ton of this on my face. Alright, then now we go into primer. Some people skip primer if they feel like their sunscreen does enough, but I'm using the Victoria Beckham So Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer. This is the original formula. It's finished. So you might need a little more than you think with this one because the brush kind of absorbs some of the product. So I have 3 pumps here, and you really have to mix this in on the back of your hand or on a palette, and it gets to this really liquidy foundation complexion-like product. And even though I hate using brushes, this works best. This tint, I keep calling it a foundation, but it's a tint. It works best with a brush, even applying wise. Now, I've only mixed this with another foundation once. I found that when I mixed it with another foundation and used the brush, eventually the other foundation kind of made it really hard to spread, and it just kind of dried things out. But when you use this alone with the brush works well. Otherwise, you might want to start out with this and end with a sponge. It seems like this would have like no coverage at all, but honestly it has a surprising amount. That being said, it is really light. Make sure everything's well blended and then go back in with a sponge, because that's my preferred way to blend, just to make sure everything is attached and settled in. But you don't have to do that. Things are kind of drying down a little bit, so I actually want to stop using this because it's kind of moving things around now. I actually think I might need a little bit more in this area because I'm pretty red. Alright, so one more pump. I'm gonna mix it in and touch up little areas that need additional coverage. Right between the eyebrows. Oh, this is such an interesting product. It's not like completely foolproof. Like, I'm really needing my sponge to make sure things are fully blended out, because with the brush I always have issues with getting streaky, and this is not an exception. I do see a little bit of streakiness. It's not bad though, because the formula is just so light. But you may have some trouble spots, like with anything, with any sort of, you know, complexion product. You have to, you know, take a bit of a closer look, think about longevity, You know, you want to make sure things are attached to your skin, no matter how light they are. Because when things start to settle, they can move around. So you just kind of want to do a little extra press in, is what I would recommend. I think if you have some more problem spots, you're going to want to use concealer, like for me right here. I have a little blemishes going on, of course, under my eyes. But just be aware that with this light of coverage, the concealer you use, you're going to want to like use very little and kind of make sure it's really spread around, because if you have like a full coverage against this light foundation, it's going to look a little funny. So I'm going to use something really light. I have the Stylo Lumiere. This is a brightening pen. Not really a true concealer, but I think it's going to go well with the minimal coverage I have with this product. I don't have a powder from Chanel, so I'm just going to, actually, before I get into powder, I have the Chanel Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream that I'm going to use, because this is the bronzer I have from Chanel. This one right here. I use my fingers. You can certainly use a brush. This is definitely made for lighter skin tones. It's a little bit warm. Alright, so we have a little bit of a bronze glow. It's like barely noticeable on camera. You can see it a little bit better in person. I don't want to disturb this water tint too much, so I don't want to go in with more. But I do want to set this because I do have combo skin. I do get oily as the day goes on, so I just kind of want to set this makeup using the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I'm just going to try to sparingly use this over this tint because I want the finish to remain really light and natural. Use my Chanel blush, which is Jules Contrast Rose Bronze No. 2 Powder Blush. This is a highly pigmented blush. A little bit goes a long way. There you go. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. It's pretty peachy. It's not so much rosy to me. It's slightly pink. Apparently this blush formulation is getting reformulated. And even if the color has the same name, it might not be an exact match in the new formulation. So if you guys want to, if you really love a color in this, I would pick up the old formula if you can. I don't have a highlighter from Chanel yet. So we're going to skip highlighter, and I'm going to move on to my eyebrows. I don't have an eyebrow product, so I'm going to go ahead and see you in a bit. Alright, brows are on, my eye primer's on. I use the MAC Painterly Paint Pot on my eyelids. So let's get into the quad. I think this is a really classy, nice quad. It seems really unassuming, and it may seem like these shades are really light, not really going to show up, but I think they pair wonderfully together. I'm going to go ahead and do some swatches. So this light pink shade, this is the medium. It's kind of a peachy pink. It looks more noticeable on my finger than in a swatch. And I will say this palette in general is not like the best swatchable palette, but it looks really pretty on the skin in real life. It's not like a camera showstopper, Instagram showstopper, but it is a pretty palette in person. So I'm taking this light shade next to it. It's kind of a more warmer gold sheen. As I said, this doesn't swatch well, and because my skin is so light, it's really hard to see, so I apologize. This really shiny white shade feels and looks like glass. It's probably my favorite shade in this palette, and it really shows up. It's super shiny, super impactful, really pretty. And then our deepest shade really defines the eye and can make it a lot more dramatic. It's this maroon brownish shade. It's really pretty. So that's the palette. I know you can't really see these, but they are pretty in person. But yeah, not a great swatchable palette. Most of you won't want to buy this by just looking at the swatches, but I do recommend this palette after doing a full look. I'll go ahead and swatch the Brun Agape eyeliner. This I've used a few times now. It's really smooth. I do feel like I'm gonna go through this pretty quickly because it's so soft. I just feel like, you know, just lining the tops of my eyes, I use quite a bit of product, but it's kind of got, it has amazing staying power. It's really great, and a nice, wonderful sort of bronzy color to it. That is Brun Agape. Let's get into applying the eyeshadow. So last time I used this shade, it kind of looked a little textured on my eye. We'll see what happens today. It is a nice shade though. I don't have any of the Chanel brushes, so I'm not sure if that would help with the smoothness of this one. And I think maybe because of its like pretty shiny finish, it shows texture really easily. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. You can kind of see the texture right here. It's a pretty shade. It's not like super vibrant, but it gives a nice shine. Like if you're in person, you can tell there is color on my lid. It's just not noticeable on camera. So just a wash of color on the lids with the medium shade. Really natural, right? Perfect for daytime. If you really like a natural look and you just want a little bit of color and you have my skin tone, this is a nice one and done shade. I wish it applied a little bit smoother and showed less texture. I mean, I have a primer on, so it just, I don't know, it doesn't attach as smoothly as I like it to. For the upper brow bone, I'm going to use this lighter golden shade. Just because it's more about shine and not so much color. I don't want a super high impact shine on my brow bone, just a little bit. You could also, if you want more of a natural inner corner highlight, you could put the shade there as well. But it just gives a little gleam, just a little subtle shine to this maroon shade. And this is where we really get colored into this look. I'd say it's the only shade that really has a lot of color. And you actually want to be careful if you want to like just do a little subtle look. You don't want to go overboard in this one because it does kind of get a little bit deep quickly. So if you just want a little bit of definition, you're just going to use a really light hand and just kind of put in the shape that you want to create. A really interesting brown, maroon, bronze color that looks different, seems to look different every time I apply it. Right, so this is pretty blended out and just a nice kind of color wash with a little bit of definition. I do want to use the shade underneath my eye to kind of round out the look. So that is a bit deeper, but I am going to use an eyeliner on the upper lid. So it is going to be rounded out by that darker liner, but I am going to blend it out just slightly. And there you have it. I am going to use this inner corner, well, this glassy shade on the inner corner. It is pack a powerful punch, so I'm going to use a really tiny brush as the rougher number 23 and just get really detailed in the inner corner. Because of the amount of sparkle and how soft the shade is, you might get a little bit of fallout. There you have it. It looks a lot brighter in person, but I think it's just a really bright and flattering inner corner color. It's just very impactful. You could even put this you know, in the middle of your lid. You want something really shiny, kind of amp it up for nighttime. Just a really pretty and versatile palette. Alright, so I'm going to do some eyeliner with Brun Agape. And just kind of create a thin line on the upper portion. It does come with a built-in sharpener, which is nice. But it is a soft product, so I find that softer liners I use real quickly. Yeah, just a really subtle look. I'm gonna use a mascara. I don't have a Chanel mascara, but I will be back. Alright, mascara is on. I'm really liking this palette. I like the eye looks it creates, how simple it is. I mean, I complained a little bit about the smoothness in that shade, but overall most people aren't going to notice that. And I just think the colors work really well together. And I don't know, just kind of an unexpected shade combination. I think it looks a little better in person than on camera. But yeah, it's a good palette. This is my first Chanel quad, eyeshadow quad, and I've been really enjoying it. I think it was a good choice. So let's get into the 3 lip shades I picked up. So the first is this Ultra Tenue formula. I have another shade of this that I really like, so I wanted to pick up another shade, something a little bit lighter, a little bit more classic and beige. So I have Timeless Beige, and I'll go ahead and swatch for you. This is a little bit brown for me for a nude, but I like the formula so much. I think it's going to work for a lot of looks, especially more of a neutral, warm-toned look, and it's just very wearable. Of course, it comes with the clear gloss. Once this dries, I'll put the gloss on top of that. I picked up another Rouge Coco Flash, the regular formula, number 82 Live. Previously, it only had kind of a topper shade, so I wanted to get something with color. So I picked up this one. It is pretty pink. Good, nice, warm pink. Has that beautiful shine to it, and you can see through it. I like this shade a lot. I actually had a hard time picking out shades from both the regular Rouge Coco Flash and the Bloom because I'm not really into red, and they had so many red shades. So I like to pick a bit safer shades or more pinks, but not really red. So this is the Bloom, and I got number 116 Dream, which I felt was like a pretty safe neutral color. It's kind of a weird color for me though. I don't know how to describe it. It's definitely like a warm pinkish brown. It's really interesting. I think it goes okay with this eye look, so I'm gonna, apply it and see how it wears because it's a new formula. I'm sure you guys want to know how well it wears. So I'll be doing a check-in with the full face and I'll let you know what happens. Try not to wear a mask. I'm gonna be outside though, so I might have to wear a mask. Hopefully everything stays okay. But those are the 3 shades I picked up. You can see the Bloom is less shiny. It is more opaque. It's not really see-through. It's more like a regular lipstick, but it has more high shine qualities. This is very comfortable. It isn't like super long wearing, but it doesn't fade away fast either. And I've enjoyed both the Rouge Coco Flash formulas. If you want something a little more casual, I like the see-through formula, but if you want more of a real color, then this is your stronger, longer lasting formula in my opinion. But we'll check in and you guys can judge for yourself. So I do kind of want to show you all of these on my lips, so we'll start with the La Rouge Tenue formula, and I'll just put on a gloss on my arm so you guys can kind of see what this looks like in its full glory. I think this formula is meant to be used with the gloss, not by itself. So those are nice shades, right? Perfect for spring. This might be a little bit fall, but these are nice for spring. So I'll go ahead and start with the Timeless Beige with this look. I love the formula. I do think this color is a little bit brown. but you know, you could kind of liven it up with a deeper lip liner. You could do an ombre effect. You know, it works. It's not like a mind-blowing shade, but it's really comfortable. And this is what it looks like with the gloss. So you can see it goes well with this look. It's a shade that's gonna go with a lot of looks, to be honest. Is it my like perfect nude? No, because my lips are naturally a little pinker, but I think it looks nice. We're gonna do the Cocoa Flash Live. This is the pink, little more sheer one. Oh, this is so comfortable. I love both of these formulas. They are different. If you want something long wearing, this is perfect. Love the gloss that goes with it. And this just feels really easy and casual and comfortable. It doesn't last as long, but you know, it's pretty. It gives a little, I think this name for this color is perfect. It does give life to my face. I look a little bit rosier and chipper, more chipper. But does it exactly go with the eye look? No, but it kind of sets it off. It gives me a little bit more attention to the lips. I think it's nice and fresh color. But yeah, I'm not going to use a lip liner with the Bloom formula, the Dream color. We're just going to do our wear test with this shade to see how long it lasts. If you like a cream lipstick, a kind of a more wet, slippery feel, you're gonna love this formula. If you love Rouge Coco Flash, this is a step up. It's a little bit different feeling. It's a little bit thicker because you got more color going on. So it's not exactly the same texture, but it has that similar feel. I think the shade, as I said, it's a little interesting for me. It's a little bit more warmer, not as pink. I think it goes pretty well with this look. Maybe not perfect, but I could see wearing this in the summer because of its more warm leaning, but not too nude. I don't know how to place the shade though. It's kind of strange, right? People have said the swatches look different than what the color looks like on your lips. I don't know. I think it's pretty close. Maybe my lips kind of turn it a little pinker just because of the color of my lips underneath, but you know, I think the shade is pretty opaque. Can't really see my lips that well. But those are the three shades there. Let me know which one you like best with the eye look. I'm just curious. Alright guys, I'm going to come back in a few hours and let you know how this makeup wears. I'm going to do a little bit of a walk. I'll be, you know, pretty much chilling, working, sitting around, not going to be too stressful, but I will be outside and it is pretty warm, so I expect some wear on this foundation, especially because it is really light. And we'll see how the lipstick wears. Now I'm going to probably eat something, but I will try to reapply after I eat just to continue to do the wear test on the lips, but I will let you know my thoughts as the day goes on. Alright guys, I will see you in a bit. Alright, I am checking in about the 3.5 hour mark. I don't know that my makeup's going to change too much within the next couple of hours, so I wanted to just do my check-in now. As I said, I did go for a walk in over 70-degree weather. It's been pretty warm. I got a little sweaty. I've been going up and downstairs, doing laundry, but you know, I'm not being like super active, but you know, moderate activity I would say. And I think this has worn pretty normally for me. My skin shine is coming through as usual with any sort of coverage product. I say because this is on the lighter end of coverage and I did put a little bit of powder, you know, there's a couple areas that I would need to press out. Like I wear sunglasses, so some of the product lifted off. And then, you know, just a few creasing areas around my nose that I would just kind of press out. Otherwise, I think it wears pretty naturally. Nothing weird happens. I'm not getting weird like oil puddles. You know, my nose and forehead look a little bit, maybe slightly more shiny than usual. But it could be like the weather change is getting warmer. Maybe I just need to apply a little more powder up here to, you know, help with the shine, but it's really unavoidable. But I think it looks fine. If I wanted to like touch up my makeup, get some of the redness down, some of the shine down, I would probably just put a little bit of powder. Maybe a powder with some coverage to it if I really wanted to, but I mean, I think it's perfectly acceptable to have a shiny forehead. Some of you don't want to do that. I know because we're like on camera, a little bit more shiny forehead might be a little bit, it just becomes a little more exaggerated on camera than in person. So I totally get it. My lipstick, the Rouge Coco Bloom. This, you know, it's not long lasting. It's obviously gone. As I spoke on the phone as I was walking, I could feel the shine go away. Like it wasn't really like, not sticky, but wet feeling anymore. But you know, when I came inside, I did notice there was still some pigment on my lips. Not really anymore. I ate some food, so it's gone. But because this is more pigmented than the regular Rouge Coco Flash, I'm just going to do a little demonstration, right? It's fairly pigmented, even though it's kind of a shiny, sheer formula. It's more pigmented than the regular formula. So when you do start to kind of like wear down that shine through talking or whatever, and you know, you keep blotting and blotting, you see this one, the regular formula, goes away a lot more quickly, and there's a lot more pigment left over when you kind of remove all the shine. So in that sense, the color does last longer because there's just more to it. But it's certainly not like a long wearing type of deal. You know, because I can still wipe it away with a tissue. Whereas like this guy, you can still see it on my wrist. It is not going anywhere. I wash my hands pretty good trying to get it off. I mean, a lot of it did come off, but you can still see remnants. So that's just the difference between the formulas. I think Coco Bloom is nice if you just want a little more staying power, and I'm sure Chanel did get some complaints like, oh, we love Coco Flash, but it doesn't stick around. I think this kind of solves that problem a little bit. You know, at least you get a couple hours out of it rather than, I don't know, maybe an hour. It just depends what you're doing, obviously. If you're just sitting stoic in your chair, not talking, I think lips last quite a long time, but most of us are not just doing that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of the color. It is a little weird to me, but I'll go ahead and reapply. I mean, it's pretty. I think it's a good shade. If you don't want pink or red, but you want something kind of bright, this is a good compromise. I'm going to go ahead and put some pictures of me right when I applied my makeup and then just recently, you know, after a few hours, so you guys can see how the water tint wears. It is such an interesting product. I'm gonna have to continue experimenting, mixing it in with other foundations because I've heard that's what a lot of people like to use this with, like not necessarily on its own, but they like mixing it in with other stuff to, I don't know, make it a little more glowy, a little more sheared out. I'm not really sure. I did try it with the Surratt Dewdrop foundation in one of my other videos, and I found that you kind of, you know, if you use this brush to mix it with another foundation, at a certain point things get dry, and that's when things get streaky and not so pretty. So you have to, you know, be aware that you may have to change up your application once things get really dry. You might have to switch to a damp sponge to kind of blend out and apply the rest. So I think that's a helpful tip for you guys. If you plan on picking up this product, it's going to take a little bit of a learning curve on how you end up using it. But I'm just going to continue trying it out. But I think it's cool. It's the wateriest foundation I've ever used. And it does feel very serum-like. And yeah, it's interesting. Let's do a quick little review of everything that I picked up and just give you my quick thoughts whether or not I think it's worth it or not. Let's start with the water tint again. I think for like an everyday, like I'm not going to be out all day. I don't need a perfect complexion all day. I'm just going to run some errands. Nothing too crazy. Maybe I am going to get a little sweaty and I don't want to wear a little makeup. I think this is perfect. It's going to let shine through. Obviously, if you have like major blemishes you want to cover up, you're still going to use a concealer. But I think this gives a nice coverage and it's really comfortable. I don't like that you have to use a brush, but it works. There's no issues with it, but once you get to the point where there's not a lot of water left in the product, using the brush kind of gets streaky. So you might want to switch to a sponge. The eyeshadow quad. I really like this eyeshadow quad. I wish it was a little bit red, a little bit better on my skin. On swatches, because it doesn't look very impressive, but I think it's pretty on the eyes. Like, it's a really classic color palette. I think a lot of people are going to get along with it. If you have deeper or medium skin tones, I'm not sure how well these will really show up on you, but these two absolutely, because this one has a lot of shine. I put it in the inner corner, and you can really like do up your eyes with these two. And I think this is where a lot of the color of this look comes from, is from these two shades. I wish these stood out a little bit more, to be honest. But overall, I'm happy with my look. And for my first Chanel quad, I'm pretty happy with the results. Let's talk about nail polish. So this isn't my first nail polish from Chanel. I do have Vamp, and I really like that shade. I have to say, the formula is really good. The supply is super easy. I get a nice even coat. This is about maybe a week's wear, less than a week. And I'm pretty rough on my nails. I don't wear rubber gloves when I wash dishes, and I clean without really any regard. So I do have a few chips. And I noticed I got chips pretty easily with Vamp as well. This is $28 if you don't like getting chipping. I mean, it happens to me with all polishes. So I do think this color is a lot more tan and brown nude than pink nude. If you think this is going to be pink leaning, Origandi may not be for you. I think it goes well. It kind of fades into the background. If you just want a polished, professional look, this does it, but I wish it was a little bit more pink. I like this eyeliner, actually. It applies super smooth, really easy, very pigmented, and I like the color, Brun Agape. I think it's a winner. I will definitely keep using this. The lip stuff, we just went over that. I'm really happy with everything I picked up in the lip category. I wish this was a little bit more pink, but you know, it's a really wonderful neutral shade. It looks like, I mean, I think it pretty much looks like on your lips what it's like in the tube. It is, you know, a nude. Alright, that is it for my Chanel haul. I had wonderful customer service, got beautiful packaging. I got 2 samples. I'm very happy with Chanel, honestly, so far. I've been ordering directly from the Chanel website, and I think that probably makes a lot of difference. Chanel's been great so far, honestly. Like, I want to continue buying from them. I know a lot of people review Chanel on YouTube, like, so it's not like I'm getting tons of views of me reviewing Chanel, but just overall as a brand, I want to try stuff as that comes out. I think I've tried a lot of their major hits. Of course, I could try more of the foundations. I haven't really gotten into that category much besides the water tint, which I think is a really cool product. But otherwise, I haven't gotten into like the highlighters. I would like to pick up a highlighter that appeals to me. Mascara is always, I think, a promising product from Chanel, I hope. And you know, I think Chanel's really known for like their lipsticks and eyeshadow quads and blush. So those are always going to be popular. Otherwise, I'm not thinking of anything off the top of my head that I need from Chanel in the moment that I haven't tried. But you know, new collections will come out. Let me know your thoughts on Chanel below. If you have any questions, also comment. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.